Hi there, getting my kicks on Route 6. Yep, we've finished off with Clay now, and now we're going to head on to the next city, which involves going up this fairly twisty path here and through a mountain. Now, new Pokemon on this route, well, this isn't new, but you can catch a Tranquil here if you want. Now, of course, something interesting about Tranquil is that the female and male Pokemon look different. The male one looks more colourful and essentially more like a peacock in a sense. Which is, it's true to the animal forms, and actually most animals, the male one looks fancier than the female one. It's just that human beings are actually the kind of weird exception. And here we see Deerling in its autumn form. Now this Pokemon, I guess, was introduced to show off the seasonal changes that were introduced in this generation, because it changes what it looks like between spring, summer, autumn, winter. Now it's a grass normal type, but it will stay a grass normal type no matter what form. And I do particularly like this autumn form here. It looks very golden. Looks like a cute version of Bambi. And I must say the name Deerling is a wonderful and adorable pun. I love it. Now, it being a grass normal type, well, when I think about it, that's actually a good combination. Because it means it's immune from ghost moves, because it's a normal type. But because it's half grass type, it's also, neutral to fighting type moves. So it doesn't have that weakness. So you have a Pokemon that's immune to ghost type moves, and neutral to fighting type moves. I do wonder if that Pokemon would be good against the Elite Four in this generation. If I didn't have Cumberbatch, I might consider using one. Now that woman there was carrying an umbrella, and I guess the sort of fact to know about umbrellas is the fact they were invented in the Roman era, I believe, and the name comes from umbra, which means shade. Like in the same sense, Umbra is short for Umbreon, or that's where Umbreon gets his name from. Hey, you've got a greenhouse here. What kind of plants are you growing? Anyway, this guy here wants to see all the forms of the Deerling. I can't be bothered. I don't have one to show him, so yeah, moving on. Now, Deerling does also evolve as well. Now, they do sort of have had these sort of stag Pokemon in Pokemon before. In fact, we're going to get like a legendary one in Gen 6, which looks pretty glorious. But in Gen 2 we had like the Stantler. But honestly, I think the Stantler looks kind of goofy. I actually prefer the sort of deer Pokemon you get in this game. Again, I wanted to show this off. This is where you can catch Carablast, but to evolve it you need a specific item, and you also need to trade it with a specific other Pokemon. But you'll see that later on. Now here we see a Pokemon which is very reminiscent of Voltorb from Gen 1, where it sort of disguises itself as a Pokeball. Although, I have to be honest, I know a lot of people aren't too keen on this Pokemon, but it does have a better design than Voltorb. Voltorb was just a Pokeball with eyes on. At least this one kind of looks different. And I also like how they incorporate the idea of a mushroom's design being similar to a Pokeball. And here we see Vanillux. Again, yeah, this generation has quite a few ice types introduced. But unfortunately, the thing is with ice types is they all tend to be slow. Like the fastest one is Weevil, but even then, it doesn't even know any strong physical ice attacks. You essentially use Weevil as a dark type. It's a shame there isn't something like Icicle Slash. Now again, I wanted to introduce you to this Pokemon, the Frillish. A ghost water type that's sort of like a jellyfish. Looks pretty sweet. It has different forms based on whether it's male or female. both of them look pretty cool. Now, when it comes to ghost types, I used to think that ghost types actually meant, you know, spooky ghosts. But I've come to the sort of realisation that when they say ghost type, they mean essentially intangible Pokemon. Like, for example, a jellyfish is a ghost type because it's mostly made up of water. In Gen 4, they had balloon types, which would be mostly made up of air. So that's an interesting way to use the ghost as a typing. Speaking of which, I always thought that Porygon should be a ghost type, even when I first saw it, because if it's a virtual Pokemon, it should be like intangible, I suppose. Now, granted, when they introduced Rota, that electric ghost Pokemon, I guess that sort of fits the bill of a sort of a digital Pokemon. And fortunately, I just battle Frillish like it's a water type, and it goes down. Honestly, when it comes to a ghost water type, I would probably be hesitant about using it. It just seems like it would have too many weaknesses. Let me see, ghost, dark, water, electric. Okay, it would have 4, but yeah, maybe I'm just being a little too pessimistic about it. Oh, you poor little ice cream, you don't stand a chance. Looks like this Pokemon got creamed. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Oh, and there we go, we have one of the rare instances where I use an item in battle. Which I hate to do. But, you know, come on, give me a break, man. This is one hardcore ice cream, it's kicking my ass. Yeah, I can't help but feel that maybe these ice cream Pokemon would really be scared of Licky Licky. Well, the thing is, because they're actual Pokemon and not actual ice creams, they probably taste pretty vile. Anyway, if I didn't say so before, Fungus is a grass poison type. I know what's strange, in like the first generation, a lot of grass types were part poison types, but that seems to be like the only grass poison type in this generation. And actually, yeah, it is, definitely. And actually, one type of Pokemon this game doesn't introduce a lot of is poison types. There's the sort of the garbage bags and the fungus, and that's about it. Now, if you go into this house here, they will heal you, so saves me a bit of a trip. It would be nice if these houses had a PC you could use as well, but then again, that would be asking too much, I suppose. Ooh, a shiny stone. Now, apparently that does evolve the mink Pokemon. So, hooray. Oh dear, looks like Spider-Man's turned to the dark side. He's taken to graffiti. Oh, hello, Clay. Oh, by the way, where's my TM? There we go. Now, Bulldoze, it's a sort of a fairly medium powered attack, but it has the chance to lower the opponent's speed. And I suppose it's worth teaching to Brooker at least. It's about time he got a physical ground move. Now, cut back to me. Now, this is where I'm back in cold storage, and I said before I missed out on a TM here, Scold. Now, Scold is actually a really good move. It's quite powerful, and it has the chance to burn the opponent. You're essentially squirting them with hot water. And I thought to myself, you know, this move is definitely worth teaching to my water Pokemon. And because TMs are reusable, I end up teaching them to 2 of my Pokemon. You gotta love Gen 5. Yeah, I don't really need Bubble Beam, this just overrides it. Now at this point, when it comes to David Mitchell there, I did consider keeping his sort of Aqua Ring attack. Because you never know when you might be put in a long drawn out battle. And actually do the same for Brooker here, because again, I sort of want to keep Growl. Because if I get sent up against a physical fighter, I could use that to lower its attack. But anyway, join me again where we'll be entering Charged Stone Gate.